Welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to continue on the 56. As you can see, here's the door that I built. Then I can keep this place nice and cool in summer and warm in winter by keeping the roller door down. Now let's go over here and check it out, what we're doing today. So as you can see, I've just been trial fitting this back of the frame of the door, and you can see I've just bolted the hinge mechanism. You can see that's going to work. And you can see that kicks up and down, which tells us that this is not the right angle on that one. Just by moving this up and down, you can see it moving. So I've got a little theory here. We're just going to get this all spot. We'll just put a couple of tacks on here and just make sure that you can see it's kicked down. It needs to be like that, and then we'll be good to go. And then we can continue on. So yeah, let's keep going. For those people that are new and don't know what this is all about, this is the 56 oval that we're building for Lazi. You can check it out in the playlist I've got if you're new and haven't seen the channel. This is what we're working on at the moment, plus the 58, which we will get the body down here at some point for my sister. We've got to get that cracking as well. You know what it's like, trying to get time to do all this stuff, but let's move, let's go. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to do is just punch our holes for plug welding along the bottom and the side here. This little punch. And we just want to probably start up this end here. Takes care of that. Okay, let's just have a bit of a look-see here. We've got a couple of tacks in that section, and here and here. And you know, look, aftermarket parts, you can see the profile's not perfect. And if you have a really close look there, I've had to go and relief cut the original metal because the profiles just don't marry up, you know, which is a real bummer. This one's not too bad, but you can see it's slightly sticking out in the corner here. Same problem here, it just doesn't marry up. So a little bit of a relief cut to bring that flap in. And you can see that I've actually left quite a gap because I'd rather do that and get a good penetration, good strength, than having them butting up against each other, and then of course you flap it back and you get a weak weld. Now we've got a little bit of tin canning going on here where we've gone and put these tacks. So I might actually cut those back off and re-weld it because it's got this weird bow in it. I'll just show you from the other side quickly. I haven't welded anything along here yet, so really just making sure everything else is good. The hinge works perfectly. If you see that, it'll go up and down. There's no binding. So I know that the plane of these two hinges is on exactly the same angle. So there's no fighting one hinge to the other, which is great. So that should be good. Yeah, let's just flip it over and I'll see what's going on the other side. So you can see here, let's have a look on what we're looking at. If you look down against the angle here, you can see there's a little bit of a gap. Yeah, I'll just get my little... You can see that's our problem. It's not major, but it's enough to be a problem. You can see there, if I do that and then push up on that, we can get rid of it. So it just needs a little bit of a push up. So yeah, apart from that, everything else is pretty much married up nicely. Yeah, we just need to pop this up slightly and get that sorted. All right, let's keep moving on it. Let's get some welding done on here. I'm just trying to make sure that this radius, this curve of the door continues. Okay. Now I decided to hang the door and just to get a bit of a gist to see how it goes, and I've got a clamp up there just holding it, but you can see the swage line is pretty damn good, and I actually want it to be slightly, probably more higher than lower, because once the glass and everything goes in, it'll add a bit of weight to it and it should drop it down a bit. But you know, I've just tacked that. I got that pretty nice. Probably very minimal. Once I've welded it all up, it'll be very minimal filler in that. She's looking good. So the hinges are pretty much perfect. Now if I open the door just to show you guys, it will drop because obviously nothing down here is welded solid, so it has flop in it. But you can see here, that's under its own free will. It's, you know, you can see there it is dropped, but that's to be expected. And you can see I can actually just lift it with my hand because nothing, you can see down how much movement's down the bottom there. But I'm pretty happy with that as a preliminary door mount. I'm pretty happy. It actually opens and shuts nice. I mean, I can continue obviously welding all that up. Okay, let's get this rest of it welded up. Using a bit of compressed air just to keep the metal cool. And let's tack away. Couple of low spots just here, and you can actually see just by looking at that dark patch along the weld that it's a bit of a divot just here, and then obviously here is nice and flat. You can run your hand over it very carefully, of course. You can cut yourself. There's little snaggy bits dagging up, a couple of lowish spots, so we're just going to go do a bit of hammer and dolly work on this, just try and get it a bit flatter, and then we'll be putting a very light coat of bog over it and we'll be good to go. Well, let's continue. Right, so just after using various flap discs and little grinders and whatnots and a little bit of hammer and dolly, we've got this pretty good. She's nice and flat. You know, you've got those little tiny little marks there, but you know, obviously we're going to have a skim coat of filler over that, but there's no bumps in it. It's actually quite good. There is a little bit of a bump right here, very slight. I might just work on that later off camera because it's just, you know, it's boring stuff for you guys to watch anyway. So, but look, at least this door's done. I'm just going to mount it just so it can hang there, and then we can start working on the second door. So let's get this thing mounted quickly. Alright, we'll leave that. Let's get on to the other door. Now, before we start disassembling this section over here, I had to address this top hinge, and obviously we had an issue where I couldn't get the pin out. I tried the press, I tried heating it up, no way was it coming out, so I did the next best thing and put a little relief cut through here, and that gave it enough pressure to release and I could pop it out. So what I've done now is re-welded up this part. I've got, I found the actual right hinge here. So now that goes where it needs to go. And I have a brand new pin, which is the right size. That's it there. And so we can actually drive this home now and call it good. So let's tap her into position, see how we go. We're going to go and rest this part of the hinge on the vise so that we're not distorting this whole area by obviously pounding on that. You don't want to do that. So let's take it over to the vise. Okay, bang bang, and we are good to go, no slop. Okay, we can continue now. This one here can get chopped off. What I will do is grab our little template just to double check, because we always like double checking around here. Make sure things are happy. And we are looking good. Excellent. Okay, so let's start chopping back into the frame like last time. All right, same deal. Copper, spray, just in here where, you know, you won't be able to get paint once you've welded it, so it's just a good way to protect it and not have bare metal in there where it's going to rust again. Yep, we've got it chopped. We're just going to tack this in place. Then we can chop out the other stuff. I just want to make sure that this is married up nice here. I like using these little butt weld clamps because they just keep everything in order, so you know it doesn't run away from you and you start ending up with weird gaps, and they're just yeah, they're easy to use. Good. It's a good job. Oh, that's not your fault. You did a good job. Okay. All right. So you can see here, if you run your hand over it, you can tell that the curve is continuing, or you haven't got a V where you're trying to get these. And if you look down the guts of it like that, you can see what I'm talking about. It's got the right curve to it. Now, gap-wise, that is quite big of a gap, but you know, some say that it's better to be wider than butting up against each other, because as soon as you start welding and you flap it back, you're going to have not much of a penetration going on between the two layers. So that's fine. You know, it takes a bit more work to just spot these all together, but once you've got your bridges and you can start going across and getting all that done, you're good to go. Cool. All right, let's whack some tacks in this. You know, this is going to be a big area of fun and games, because under this bog, I think, or filler, it's damaged quite a lot, so I'm going to have to do a bit of panel beating on that. All right, let's get some tacks in it. Okay, let's remove our butt clamps. That's actually worked better than the last door. The last door we had some other issues. That's good. I like that. Okay, onto the other side. So we've got to get this hinge bolted on. I'm just using some stainless steel bolts because, as I found out, rivets, you need a 20-ton press to get these things to even work. So even back in the day, if you had issues with your hinge mounts from the factory, they would actually replace them with nuts and bolts. So I'm going to weld them in position. I'll tighten them up and then just tack them so that there's no way they can come loose. So let's just get these sorted. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to go and put a couple of tacks on here and just weld this thing so they do not come loose. And then the plan is just to get this to look like the factory rivet. Once I've got it all welded in, I'm just going to fill the star in with weld, grind that flat, and it should just look exactly like the the factory rivet head. So that's the plan. Let's go to it. All right, so we've got that in position. Now we need to just make sure that that is going to be exactly with the other one. So we go and use our mounting jig. Mounting jig. You can see that part there. That's all ready to get ground back. And we've just got this center section here to put in. And you can see there that our little flappy bit doesn't line up. That's the part I was talking about before. So I've got to relief cut that and just kind of try and humour it in and blend it and make it look Mickey Mouse. All right, let's do it. There we go. Done diddly done. Right, onto this middle part here. We've got to do a little bit of cutting on that. Righto guys, didn't want to bore you with all the panel beating issues and stuff, but anyway, she's all done, nice and smooth. We do have some dints, very small depressions, one little one just there, and this was that area that had all the filler in it, and you can see it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna probably have to splash out and get myself a stud puller because I can't get to the back of this to panel beat this section back out. And it's pretty bad. It's sunken in there quite a lot. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to go and get one of those stud puller thingos and just knock, you know, it's too deep. I mean, if you go and put a straight edge on that, you can see that is unacceptable. So, okay, we will get that fixed, but the rest of the door is actually looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Like I said, a little very light skim coat across that and we're going to be in business. Let's get that one mounted and see what she looks like. Okay, so we've got this door mounted and it is not good. Unfortunately, we don't have a gap at all. It's pretty much touching. Yeah, we're way out of adjustment. I mean, this has all been beaten up here on this edge here, so that's going to need a fair bit of work, but we are hitting big time. So that's telling me that when I put this brace in, it's pulled the car together. So no big deal. A really good trick is you can chop this in half and put a turnbuckle in there, and then you can actually turn it in and out, which I'm going to have to do to the other side as well. So it's not a big problem, but I mean, luckily I haven't welded anything down the bottom here. I mean, that's just hanging in the wind. So that's got to go backwards. That's got to go that way, and that will open up the gap. But as you can see here, yeah, she's fully touching. I mean, down here's questionable as well, and the gap's just all over the place. So yeah, this driver's door's going to need a lot of work. I thought I might dodge a bullet with all this, and yeah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for me today. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for the new subscribers as well. Yeah, I'm done today. I'm going to go and have a coffee. See you in the next one. Pew!